What's up, guys? If you haven't already, we just dropped some new shirts, so make sure you guys go check it out. Um, we got, if you haven't seen our shirts in the past, right? We just have Hawaiian Forever. All we did was just mix it up a little bit. So we got Samoan Forever, we got Tongan Forever, we got Popolo Forever, Haole Forever. There's a lot of options, so the link is down below. Please go check it out. Holiday season, get something for your family. Our next guest, he's coming from a small town called Panaeva in Hilo, Hawaii. He has a lot of knowledge and wisdom, especially for the younger generation. This guy does nothing but takes care of the people that he loves most. He's an amazing father figure for his family. He's everyone's coach, as well as my father, co-founder of Collegiate Prep Bowl Hawaii, Coach Serge.
Yes, send him.
But my Lord is wild, he's too much. If you remember, I said send him. Now, okay, my Lord, you don't have to get all pissy about it.
Now things will get a bit interesting.
Oh my Lord, oh yeah.
Hey, thanks for having me. Hello, brother Ricks, man, my champion. I'm also his dad, Coach Serge. Before we start about our journey on the alumni bowl game and stuff that we want to talk about, now I'd like to take this time to give a shout out to one of our sponsors. It's www.amway.com/myshop/skmamon. That's my store. That's where we get stuff from. And we're going to get a toast to our excess sugar-free drink that's really healthy. Oh my goodness, how's that, Ricks? Was that good? Yeah, that's pretty good, yeah. You know, today I would like to make sure that we stay a little more healthier, a lot more cleaner, and that's kind of where we're leading to with everything, especially this Collegiate Prep Bowl Hawaii. And yeah, I'm the co-founder, not just me, Coach Hezi and Brojo from Kona. We definitely we had a vision back in 2016, and we're coaching against each other. We started our kids started becoming all Americans in the youth level, and um, you went a couple times with Coach Hezi. I never went.
Yeah.
And so then he came back and he said, "Dude, we need to do this for our kids. Um, but what we need to do is we need to get them recruited and we need to get colleges involved, and it's all over the United States. It's already being done. It's just that I think on the Big Island, it's a little more unique on how to do things because it's hard to get people there. So, as far as you guys being the alumni, I mean, it's an honor to see you guys pick up the torch now and try to make this happen for our kids and try to make these moments and memories that we had got to make with you guys. Not only that, you guys taking it to the next level. This game I think that we're gonna have now. If everything goes the right way, there's a total maybe of 12 total prep schools and junior colleges coming down to recruit kids. So, it's grew a lot since you guys done it. When we did it, our first game was in 18. We was like, oh, let's do an intermediate bowl game. We were supposed to follow up with a senior bowl game. Then COVID happened and we never did it. So now that I'm in Utah, and I'm involved with the Utah Islanders, I'm really inspired by them because they're willing to give us a couple scholarships to get kids up here. And so with that just alone, that was where I was trying to put this game together. So I mean, imagine if you guys had these opportunities. We never had it when you guys played.
Yeah. So I know you mentioned a lot about the college, the collegiate prep and all that, and then me and Michael was talking about how I went to the All American and stuff. What was your guys' thoughts on like creating collegiate prep bowl? Because you guys preach more about education rather than when me and Hezi went. It was just show up, practice, and showcase.
Well, definitely. Yeah. First of all, let me apologize, and I owe an apology to a lot of kids that I coach. So as you. Oh, when I was on a Big Island, my dream was just to get kids in college, and the reason I say sorry is because I didn't know what I was doing. Although that's what I wanted to do. Yeah, I got my sons into college. Coach Maurice taught me a valuable lesson on how to do it. I didn't know what I was doing. And yeah, I expected parents to help their kids go to college. But coming from the island again, it's unique. So I'm not saying that I'm any better or any worse, but a lot of guys just like me used to stand in front of you kids and talk about next level. And yeah, an application, calling a football coach, that's easy. Getting you guys there was different. And now I've been here for 2 years at the JC level. I realize I steered a lot of kids the wrong way. And whether you like it or not, if you're watching this and you're from the Big Island, you guys steering them the wrong way too. You first of all, you never go college, you never play football. You say you want them to go to college. You know nobody up there in the college level. And every year comes in and every year goes out, and the kids are still there doing the same thing. And now I'm connected. I have at least contacts to get them into a good junior college, a good educational position, or we have access to get to guys at the division level too. But I don't think our kids are ready. So back then it was about just playing football. Today I think it's about on full circle. We're trying to fulfill that, where it is about education. It is about, you know, people don't realize, and even I didn't. In college, it's called a student athlete. Yeah, where we from, everything is football first, right? So, you know, you live on an island this small in the speck of the world, and you think that's how it works, and then you come here, and then the first time you fail, everybody wants to go home. Well, how do you think I feel as a coach when I came up here and I failed? When I came here in 2021, I had the best athletes. We all should have went to college, but our grades didn't match our SATs didn't match the level of what we needed to get done. I think even like you, as good as you were, you just weren't big enough. You know.
Yeah. Nah, even the SATs. Oh, I never studied for that. So when we did it up here, I was lost. I was homeschooled. That's why on the farm. But I don't think anything was wrong with that.
Nothing's wrong with that. It's just I was that guy. Football came first, not education.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have the best athletes, but they don't have what it takes to go to college because their grades. And that's why collegiate prep Hawaii is now a standard, right? Yeah, you want to play one more game? Come, we'll play one more game. There's a lot more one more games you can go play. But you know, at least the one thing I know we're gonna do, we're gonna make sure you guys are NCAA clearinghouse cleared to get into the NCAA. We'll make sure we teach you guys how to do a FAFSA. We'll even show you guys how to do the applications. We'll even try to get you guys on scholarships. We'll give you guys a counselor. You know, I don't have those people. I just have a network that we put them together and make it work. That's the difference with Collegiate Prep Hawaii and every other all-star game or whatever.
Yeah. No, that makes sense though. That's good because I didn't notice that until I look back at it now. Is we did a lot of like, you made us sit down, lay down, hey, start writing out your goals. You have to do this for college. You brought a lot of the I think Walla at the time or whoever was in college to come talk to us, and that's what was way different compared to like the All Americans we went to. But you mentioned as well, everybody tells like the Big Island, like you gotta go D1, you can go here, you can go there. What is it that you did different that nobody is back home? Like, because you can go learn. You know what I mean? We have the smartest thing in our hand in today's world. So like, what did you do that they can get from you?
I mean, I don't think it's anything that I do different. It's just so like I'll tell you this, like Hezi, you're a really good friend. Hezi boy and Zed, those kids, they're meant to do what they're doing because their dad made sure it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? They're undersized too, but they still were qualified to play D1 because they worked hard. They just believed in the process, and they had a dad and a mother that they had no days off. You know what I mean? For me, you know, and I tell Hezi this all the time. Coach Hezi, you're my idol. And it's because he didn't allow size and the eye test to stop his sons from believing. For me, I was so in debt in football coaching, like meaning I was in it for years already, where like you was like, I knew already you weren't like D1 or like Wella. So like I settled for the D3. My bad guys. Derek's calling me. Coach D, man, we're doing a podcast. My bad. My point is, Coach Hezi, he took that route. He stuck with it from when we met him, right?
Yeah.
I respect that man so much. And both of his sons full ride to Nevada. For me, I was like, you know, Kamala was good, but he wasn't big enough. So we took the D3 route. For you, last year, Ogden Jets junior college. I said, hey, let's go. And what I did differently was I was more realistic. I did this as a father, though. You know what I'm saying is like my oldest boy, D3, you're JC. I never lied to anybody. I never said, "Oh, your son guarantees going to be D1." You know, like I just today I look at people's grades and I'm like, "Hey, man, I don't know what college is going to pick you up with a 1.8, but people at home, and especially on a Big Island, they're like their parents are like telling these things like, "Oh no, my son's being recruited by whatever," and then I'm like, "Oh yeah, what's his grade point average?" Like, "Oh, 1.8, yeah, yeah." Guys, I'm at a JC level. We don't even recruit kids at a 1.8. So whoever's recruiting you at 1.8, whatever dream you're living in, if it's working for you, keep doing it. Because I know the process on how to do it this way. And again, I might not be right, but this is the way I know it works. So what I'm doing differently is I found a way to get kids into college. I can go to a trade school, just like you did a little bit of trade, right? What did you do while you was at the All Jets? What trade did you take up?
I was doing EMT.
EMT.
EMT, basic EMT.
Basic EMT, and you can do welding and come play football for us. You can even do the CDL and come play for us. You can take an entrepreneur class that will leave you with a business. Like you will leave us with a business, tax ID, everything, and a full blown business.
Yeah, most of the classes, I think ours only took two months, just about the whole season. But it was 4 hour class. I think we had 2 classes or 3 classes a week. But yeah, it was pretty much it. We show up 4 hours in the class, and then that was it. 2 months, we got a certification.
I think one of the things Collegiate Prep Hawaii is gonna be a part of, and it's gonna be hard. Trust me, we're not gonna be successful the first, couple years. But 5 years from now, if this thing rides along the way you guys are organizing it, I firmly believe, guys. Trust me, I might have founded this thing, me and Coach Hezzy, but it's Ricky, it's Camuela, it's Kaylin White, it's Wild, it's Keiko Vela, Ethan Ramos. All these kids that played football for me, I dreamt of these moments for them. And man, I'm talking about like 2010 to like 2017. Those kids are all fathers and are working class coaches in their communities. Some of them, went far in collegiate, accolades as far as playing college football. Some of them didn't make it to the D1. Some of them made them to the NIA or the D3s, but they did what they're supposed to do. That's what we geared you guys to do. And I think when you guys finally understand how it works, because this is what I firmly believe today. I know what I'm doing, but I definitely don't know how to do it in this day and age like you guys do. And that's why I needed you guys to pick it up and take it over so we can get more kids out of the Big Island and get them exposed, I think.
Yeah. Before we get into it a little bit more, I just want to give a big shout out to one of our other sponsors, Screen Protect. Make sure you guys will check them out online. We'll make sure we put a link down below.
Screen Protect.
Screen Protect.
Coach Chris and Auntie Jess. Man, those guys are amazing. They're actually the founders of the Utah Islanders. And man, they're gonna do some big things and I'm gonna be a part of it. I'm gonna do my best to support them and be an asset on Screen Protect and the Utah Islanders. And our goal this year is to bring up some good kids from Big Island. So thank you, Screen Protect and the Utah Islanders.
So, talking about the JUCO route, because even when I was back home, I mean, I didn't really understand the D1, D2, D3, and the JUCO, but I just know from what I was hearing, the junior college is always like, that's crap. That go junior college, go to like a D2, D1. What are your thoughts on junior college for our Big Island boys?
I mean, like let's say, guys, there's 100 kids in the pool on the Big Island right now. 100 kids. And please forgive me for this. I'm not taking anything away from your kids. Hey, you feel like they're D1, then pursue it. Okay? But out of the 100 kids, let's say there's 15 of them that are D1 material. They have the grades. They have the test scores. Let's get them there. Let's push them. Let's get them to the D1. Right? Okay, so that's 15. What does that leave us with? 85 kids? Right? So where does the 85 kids go? We always forget about them. We leave them there. Then you go back home. They're working in the union or they're working at the store, Walmart, pushing wagons. No, you go and you bring the JCs to them because they can play football. They belong out there playing football. Some of you parents geared your kids their whole life. And then it comes to end at a senior year. You guys bring them on late at their senior game and you take all these pictures and then you say, hey, congratulations, that's it for you. No, the JC route is there for them. There's a way to go get trade school certifications. plumbing, electrical, HVAC, EMT, welding, right? Okay, now maybe not. Maybe they want to be a counselor and put them in traditional school in the JC level. Let them play football for 2 years. Now the rules say you can play JC for 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guys, football is the vehicle. If your kid made it this far to their senior year, um, and football driven this from the time they're 8 all the way to their senior year, it's hard to take something away from them. They've been in a brotherhood their whole life, and now they got to go into the workforce world all alone. And a lot of times, I'm not speaking as a professional. I'm just speaking as a coach. A lot of times they fail, right? And then we're over there getting down on them. You got to get your things together. You got to grow up. You got to get a job. You got to do this. And I don't know. I don't think that's the life we trying to. I don't want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of kids pursuing the things you parents geared your kids to do. They played football from 8. They're graduating at 17 or 18. Why not put them in college, get a good education? If you guys can figure out a way to get it free, at the JUCO level. I mean, what are you JUCO, NIA, D3, D2, D1? You're playing football. You're doing what you love doing. I think that's the way to pursue your dreams and then figure out life from there. You know, I don't know. I wanted to play football, but I couldn't because I had a son. I had to, and I had a coach. He was honest. He was like, Momo, like you're not gonna be able to play like at any division or you're too small. I wasn't the greatest, but I wasn't, crap either. I was a team player. I believed in doing what was right for my coach. I was coachable. And then now I become a father and I realized there was a place for everybody. And so like my coach was right, you know what I mean? I couldn't go to any divisional schools. But more so he was right because I needed to be a dad, you know what I mean? So it's about learning. Collegiate Prepo Hawaii is I think something that's gonna change the course. Or you guys will. I like I said, me and Hezi, we started this. But if you guys take it, you make it the way you know it needs to be made because the old days was like make you guys farm, do chores, all of this and that. And then now you guys are coming around. You guys are tech kids, you guys know how to make it easier for everybody. That's what I'm thinking. So
Yeah, no, I agree on that. And I think that's just what that brotherhood you created. Jumping back to what you said with the kids, how they just go home. I think a lot of the Ho'ihale kids that came up here, when we asked them what is one thing that they missed when they're finally back in the house is they always say like brotherhood. I think Micah talked about it. Keenan as well talked about it. So I think that's another thing that helps out a lot is having that bond that was created from back home and then brought here all the way to Utah. But yeah, so
do you know why a brotherhood is important? Or like for me as your coach or all you guys, I've been doing this for years. How old are you now?
21,
So how old is your oldest brother?
26,
27.
27.
Right? Okay. So let's say I started with him first, him and his guys. He started playing sports at 8. So you figure 20 years ago, I've already told him about this. And you come along and I tell you about this. And now you're 21. So same thing for me. Somebody told me this, and I'm grateful I still have that brotherhood of guys in my time. You need that. That's what we need. That's what football's created. Why is our life so boring after football? What is missing? Think about it. Like football season ends. What is the one thing you miss about football after that?
Just hanging out with the boys.
The brotherhood. Dude, and somebody's over here telling us like, oh no, you don't need anybody, go do it by yourself and this and that. And then yet a coach like me believes, no, I need all of you guys to do this together for the rest of your life. And that's where I think we go wrong. So like, when you went to college, or just last year, did you know anybody on the Ogden Jets?
Other than the Hawaii boys, no.
Wasn't that cool?
Yeah, that was good.
But
Good
when
fun.
we come from Big Island, it's like, oh, you play for Hilo High or you play for Oikea, right? Now, F those guys. We don't have nothing to do with that. No, you gotta teach these guys. Yeah, we gotta play each other, and somebody's gotta win, and somebody gotta lose. Yeah. But in the end, one day those guys might be on your team in college or whatever. And I think that's why we're not open-minded. So the brotherhood is important. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter where you're from. It just matters that we can trust you and you get loyalty and all those things. And number one, you got to cheer people on. You got to, you know what I mean? Like how we do. We've always cheered people on, and I'm not going to stop. I think that's why we're so blessed. That's why we have great things in our life because cheering people on was the way to success, being happy for everybody. What if we was the ones winning all the time? Coach Hezi. Coach Hezi. I hope you're as happy for everybody too, man, while you beating everybody and mercy ruling them. Not me. I'm joking.
Well, so when we came up and played with the Ogden Jets, we were getting our equipment, and then you just talked about like sometimes we gotta the guys we can play against who might play in college. When I played at Granger, their rivalry was Hunter, and then there was like three boys that I guess I played against, both junior and senior year, and then but even then, like I feel back before maybe I don't know, I wasn't in high school at the time. It was if it was white Kia, you white Kia. If it was Hilo, you Hilo. But these guys like they're a Hunter, and I was Granger, but we was just talking story the whole time and just laughing about the game that we played. So I think that was another golden that we created under that brotherhood at the Ogden Jets that we still have contact with today.
Yeah,
So,
no, and dude, I'm happy you brought that up. Like, guys, listen. I mean, this is for the whole world, but this is more for Big Island. Just imagine, I come from Paneva, right? I'm coach at Paneva with, and I'm gonna give my credit to who I need to give it to. Let's start off with Thomas White. Uncle Thomas creates Paneva leagues for our kids, right? And I don't know the history before me, but they're working hard to get there. We used to come up short all the time, and then I fell in love with football because of Uncle Maui Ramos, and Derek Kalai. These two guys moved in from Waimanalo into Paneva, my community, and had this vision of building this machine, which we did. And so like I'm like, okay, I'm from here. Who's these guys from Waimanalo? And I follow their process and what they're doing. And here's where I'm going with this. We went from being this team that just always fell short to like we went to a point where we won every year. And if we didn't win, we're losing in a championship game. You know what I'm saying? I mean, consecutive years. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Well, I take that back. 18, we're at Steelers. So 18, I took it to Steelers. 19, back to Panava, win the Super Bowl. Then you come here to Utah, and what he just talked about. Hoey Holly had maybe a handful of kids that made an impact in one community that when we went to the Ogden Jets, right? The stories were shared off of like that. Like, oh, you guys were only good because you Hawaii guys came in,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I was like, it was so weird. Like, saying, Utah has 3 million people. So for somebody to remember that, you made an impact. And I mean, like, that's what Hawaiians do. Hawaiians believe in like sharing aloha, making sure we leave the place better than what.
we came.
And we got it. You have to do that. And then you go places and that's what it is. And brotherhood will go a long way, no matter who it is, how you do it, what they say, whatever. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, we got to just keep doing this thing. Collegiate Prep Hawaii needs to be that brotherhood forever, right? Where we helping one another. Because right now, the game was really created for you and Hezi guys. We never got it done. Now you're doing it for somebody else, the next generation.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's good. I haven't got in touch with Hezi in a while, but I'm hopefully he gets to come down. I know he's been busy the past couple months and stuff. But hopping off subject for the Collegiate Prep Bowl, you're also the owner of Ho'ihale here in Utah, but you started it back in Paneva. What was your thoughts and process going through, like, okay, let's create this Ho'ihale here in Utah now? But it started back in Paneva and stuff. All Walla guys in 2013.
Yeah,
and 2012.
I didn't know what I was doing back then, but it was really because of you guys, my children, the brotherhood. I grew up in Paneva. A lot of my friends, they're infamous street business guys, and I love them. I love their families. I was just lucky. I didn't take the street business route. I took the traditional, get a job, become a coach, love my children. And so when I started coaching in Paneva, the number one thing I wanted to do was make sure our kids had a safe place to come. That was our house. So like, you remember at an average weekend, how much boys be sleeping over our house?
The whole football team, I don't know,
Yeah, like
30
30
40.
kids, right? We didn't even know how to feed them. But that was the start of Ho'ihale. That's probably like 2010, I think. I bought a van. At the time, the van was for our boxing club, but I would make sure every kid was in that van. If they didn't have a ride, they slept at our house. You guys remember we didn't even have food to feed them. And we used to figure it out though, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How we used to feed those kids. You remember?
It was hamburger, no? Chili, spaghetti.
Oh, and pig.
Yeah.
on
Oh,
cow.
yeah. Make imu with
Yeah,
them.
we literally didn't have a budget. We didn't have anybody supporting us. We would go get a pig or we'd go get a cow, and would slaughter it, and then we would have all of this hamburger in the freezer, or would have all this pork.
Change their lives.
Yeah, it would change your lives. One of my favorite stories. One time, you remember that time at Hawaii Hale in Panava? There's our boy, Flores. Flores? Was his name
Zia,
Flores?
Zia.
Zia, yeah,
Zia.
yeah, Zia. Remember Zia? He's sitting there, and we're like slaughtering this cow because everybody sleeps over, 30, 40 kids at a time. And we didn't have a budget, so we're like, we needed to eat lunch that day. And so, like, it was twitching on the leg, and I was like, I cut it. And I was like, yeah, I told Ricky's mom at the time, we call her Auntie Calais. So, yeah, Auntie Calais, here, go cook us lunch, And so the thing is twitching like this, and she cuts it up, mix it with onions and some rice.
Yeah, yeah.
And what Zia said?
Well, it was she made him like beef stew, like on quick beef stew or something. We asked him if he eat beef stew, and what he said, oh, I don't eat cow.
Yeah.
I don't eat
He was like,
cow.
Coach, I don't eat cow.
Oh, wow.
And then I was like, what are you talking about? Do you eat McDonald's and hamburger? And he was like, yeah, it's the same thing. He's like, oh, but yeah, no, Hawaii Hale started in Panava years ago. And you know what? Hawaii Hale still exists in Panava. The beautiful thing, it's not that I'm the owner, I just wanted to make sure we had a place for our kids to go. And to anybody I've ever been a part of your life, I always say this, past, present, and future. I love you guys. My coach loved me to the day he died. He's one of my boxing coaches. My football coach, I'm still in contact with. His name's Coach Tim Lino. When he speaks to me, he speaks to me like I'm still playing football for the guy. You know what I mean? And he always says stuff like, Mamon, when you guys were playing football for me, it wasn't just football. He would say stuff like there was a brotherhood. It's a fraternity of a brotherhood. And you just get that chicken skin from that guy. He's got to be in his late or mid 60s. He's still in good shape. I don't look at him that guy. I look at him like I'm 14, 15 years old, sitting in the locker room, listening to him tell me that story, getting ready to strap up and go out there and do what we're practiced to do for a football season. So, Paneva, Utah, wherever we're going next, I want Hawaii Hale to be in as much states as we can. And it's not because we need it. I just like share aloha. I want people to know how good we are. We mean well. We want to do good. We want to give the best energy. But, in the situation we're in at home, everything's expensive. Drugs, a homeless problem. Everybody's struggling right now. So Hawaii Hale could be a solution. Not just for football, for the world. I think, at least I believe that.
Yeah, yeah. No, a lot of the boys came, in and out, but not in a bad way. I don't think we've ever had a kid leave in a negative where back home we would say, like F those guys, whatever. I think a lot of them come up here to try and take that opportunity, what we try and preach into us. But no, yeah, Hawaii Hale has been open for what, 4 years now?
This is
Just
our
about?
fifth. It's our fifth.
Oh,
I mean, and here's the thing, right? Panava, let's start Panava. We probably got a good 10 years of Hawaii Hale.
yeah.
Okay? You poor guy, you have to live with so much people in your life, And Ricky knows he was a baby. Live with everybody, Coach Serge taking football players, whatever. We take them in, we help them, and then we get here. So 5 years now, we did. Actually, every year we did high school. We get 5. This is our 5th year with high school kids. 2 years with college.
Yeah, that's right.
And I never got into Kamehameha schools, and nothing against Kamehameha. I love that school. But I always wanted my own Kamehameha schools for Hawaii kids, not just Hawaiians, but Hawaii kids. I don't care what it is. Just give them that opportunity. Give those Kamehameha kids their props. Why they're there? Because they get good test scores. They can get in, right? But the ones that cannot, we shouldn't have to just deal with public school, right? Oh, because you cannot get in here, and you cannot go Punahou, you cannot go St. Joe. Oh, Hawaii Hale is an outlet. You know what I mean? I think, in another year we'll have our own academy. That's my plan, right? We're gonna have our own school.
Yeah.
Hawaii Hale is gonna be a school, right? And gonna be an academy just for sports. I'm gonna have the best elite guys in the world, and we're gonna start with boxing and MMA and football. But and then even you guys now, like, even though it's football guys, like Ricky and Wella is my my 2 MMA fighters. So it's not just football. Hawaii Hale is a house for athletes. I would love to get a female partner, business partner that wants to do Hawaii Hale for girls, and we could do a girls' home one day where we're just giving them opportunities. Teaching them etiquettes. What is the number one key to success for yourself as a man now? What do you have to do first if you want to be successful in life?
Take care of responsibilities.
responsibilities, you know, that comes with loving yourself. Being responsible is loving yourself first. And I think that's what I want my athletes to know. You know, even collegiate prep Hawaii, I'm not their coach, but if I leave one thing in their mindset is the definition of a man, being responsible. And then once you're responsible, the first thing you gotta know is you gotta love yourself. When you love yourself or you love what, you know, the greater, what did they say, God, right? But and if you guys don't like God or whatever, my bad. But the greater than that energy, that's higher power than us. You have to love yourself so that that energy can flow through you to the next bunch of people you decide to put your life in, which is your family or your brotherhood. Or so in my brotherhood, if you gotta love yourself, right? In your brotherhood, you gotta love yourself. Because if I love myself, you love yourself, he love himself. We're gonna a bunch of good, positive, you know, guys that can change solutions. I mean, change these problems we get with good solutions, like figuring out a way, like Hawaii Hale saying. I believe Hawaii Hale can help the world change a path for something, not just through sports, but sharing aloha. So Hawaii Hale is a solution more than a house. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's what I
yeah,
think.
that's a good way to put it.
Collegiate Prep Hawaii is part of Hawaii Hale. You know, because now when we did the game for you guys back then, we had no outlet, right?
Yeah,
Now we get an outlet, so you can play in the game. If you guys want to go here, we'll go here. We'll figure out a way to get our boys to wherever they're trying to go through a Hawaii Hale or something like that,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So it's a solution-based thing I think we're creating.
yeah. No, that makes sense. That I didn't actually know until you said it that way. I just thought of Hawaii Hale, of being this, giving that opportunity for the boys. But before we move on, we're gonna give another shout out to another one of our sponsors, Nobriga Fencing. Owner is Uncle Nolan Nobriga. So Uncle Nolan, thank you for sponsoring the Collegiate Prep Bowl. If you guys are interested, Big Island, make sure you check them out.
Yeah, you know, the one thing about the Nobriga Fencing Company, I think it's amazing that they're 3 generations or 4 generations of Paniolo. Great grandpa had a ranch, grandpa had a ranch, dad had a ranch, Uncle Nolan has a ranch. His sons now have a ranch. They're part of the food industry, trying to service our community with food based like cattle. We're talking about beef and stuff like that. So and I'm blessed to go back, you know, quite often and consult for Nobriga Fencing as a consultant and a life coach. So make sure you guys hit him up. If you guys having problem with pigs on a big island, and you need security for your fence, you guys having a problem with, you know, guys walking up and down your street, you need a good gate. You guys need electric fence. You guys need whatever it is just for security. And Nobriga Fencing, go look him up. And again, Uncle Nolan, thank you for sponsoring us and giving us all the best that we can for kids.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So jumping back a little bit more towards the Collegiate Prep Bowl, what is something that you would want the kids to get out of this week of Collegiate Prep?
Well, first of all, I think I picked 2 of the greatest guys I could work with to come and help me network. That's gonna be Coach Ray Stowers. So Coach Ray Stowers was a GA at the U for a bunch of years. Got trained under their OC. Has a you know Coach Ray Stowers, graduate from Iolani, played at the U, did some amazing things. Now he's the head coach at LCA, Layton Christian Academy. So he's gonna be one of our head coaches on one side, and then Coach David Fiafia recently just left the Weber State. He was the special teams coordinator and the head guy of the recruiting, and now he's the head coach at Farmington High School, where I work with him. I work with both these guys, and I just go and scout talent for them, and try to bring kids that want a better opportunity. And I'm bringing these 2 guys, and we've been collaborating, and with their college experience, I'm pretty sure they would love for us to find them good kids to push into college. And I'm here working with them, letting them know how our kids are a little bit behind educational wise, and so the JUCO route is easier. So now if we find somebody out of that 85, right? I mean, out of 100, 15 kids that are that good, we have 2 good professional guys that worked at the college level and that can help get them out. The 85 kids, that's where I come in, and I can help them with my guys from the Islanders, from the Ogden Jets, from the Eagles, from Snow College, and the other 13 schools that want to come to help the kids choose where they want to go. Help parents understand what it is. And if we don't, we don't. But if we do, it's a great opportunity. What we're gonna get out of it is, like I said, um, your committee and our committee, which is with a bunch of good moms from the Big Island, some head coaches that put their wives together. They're the ones gonna do the FAFSA. FAFSA is important. And here's a quick lesson for college. If you don't do your taxes, it's hard for get your kids into college. So you have to file taxes because when you apply, first thing they're gonna do is ask for your parents' taxes. And if you don't do it, then you can't qualify for scholarship. You have to pay outright. That's where everybody fails. So just doing your taxes is important. Not because you want a tax return, because it's just the right thing to do. So you get your taxes done, you get your FAFSAs done, you get your NCAA clearinghouse done. You do, if you're gonna do an SAT and all that other stuff. Well, there's so much different ways to do it. And the collegiate prep Hawaii, you're gonna get out of that's more important than the game. Then the week starts January 1st. I think that's our first practice day. We got two practices January 1st, one in the mid afternoon, one after dinner. Then we meet back up on January 2nd, early in the morning. We got a practice in the morning. We got a break, a practice mid morning. Then we got a break for lunch, practice mid afternoon, quick rest, a practice before dinner. Last walkthrough before we send them home. They turn around, come back on the 3rd. We get them early in the morning. And then we talk about our walkthroughs and how the game goes. We go out there and have fun, and it's just a showcase so that these coaches could have seen how they practice, how coachable they are, how their feet moves, some interaction with mom and dad so they know who they're getting. And when I'm leaving that game, on Saturday night, I'm hoping that we're giving out that 5 scholarships in honor of Billy Kinoy, Uncle Billy, So, not just what you're getting out of the game, it's the fact that I named the game after a great man, Billy Kinoy. So, one of these days, I want to have a scholarship for somebody that wants to be an attorney, so we can, because that's what Uncle Billy always wanted, right? Yeah. And I have a couple good guys I want to pursue in the future where I can, honor them at a game like this and create a scholarship for that one kid that just needed that chance, and we can do it. So, there's a lot of big dreams for me for Collegiate Prep Hawaii. But there's a lot of guys I gotta talk to as well, like Uncle Hezi. I gotta say, hey, what do you want to get out of this, right? What do you? So like, say you as Uncle Hezi, I'm like, hey Hezi, what do you want to get out of it? Tell me what he could tell me.
I don't know what Uncle Hezi would say. Uncle, if you remember me though, Ricky boy, I used to come with you all the time to Milan.
Crazy, this guy love you, bro. I would have just role play one good one for you. Hey, you mutt! You guys are mutts. Anyway, I'm just joking, Hezi.
So you just talked about what the kids are gonna get out of it, but what I think one thing you can explain or tell the kids that are gonna join, because they're gonna mingle with the coaches. You want them to meet the parents and all that stuff. I think one thing that we might struggle with sometimes is confidence. Yeah. So what is something you could tell the kids that, hey, when you shake this coach's hand, like, how do you present yourself?
Yeah, guys, one thing that's not gonna change for a long time, and maybe parents, this is good for you guys. Coaches love kids. I don't care if they're coaching a boys football or now girls football, right? They need you to look them in the face. They need you to chin high. They need, when you speak clearly. Not, you know what I mean? You gotta, that's being coachable. Kids nowadays, because of technology, they don't know how to talk. And the one thing that never changed yet is that right there. Coaches want great communication. Eye contact. Yeah. Right? When firm handshake, I'm one guy as a coach. Hey, say what you're gonna do. And then what?
Do
what you're gonna say. So if I believe in that, and I thought I'm way behind them from the Big Island, it's still happening up here. Your greatest opportunities will come from a great communication. That's it. If you don't know how to communicate, you ain't going no place. So, for some reason we feel, parents, that a magical horse is gonna ride in onto the Big Island with a bag of money and somebody's gonna get lucky one day. It ain't happening, right? You start by teaching them good communication, getting on the Twitters, getting on your highlight videos. Do those things that needs to be done, because when you hear a coach say, trust the what?
Process.
That's what the process is. In other words, your process as a mom and dad is making sure when they're born, they get fed, they get their diapers changed, they're safe, right? That's on process. Same with college, same with education, same with football, same with this. You know what I mean? And trust me, guys, um, if you don't believe this might happen on a big island. Those guys that complain about little Johnny not playing, mom and dad's in the stands. Well, little Johnny's not getting playing time, this and that. Um, I've been on staff here where like they don't you can go complain all you want. The hardest guy that works is the ones that gets the positions, right? And I've seen this where we have videos all day long where like one of my coaches, he did the most ultimate thing in front of me. Mom and dad grumbled about how the boy should be starting guard, this and that. And he sits mom and dad down and pulls up the huddle video. And he goes, "Hey, mom, is this little Johnny?" And bro, the guy's on the side playing on, "Oh, hey, we're doing team. Is this little Johnny?" Right? And then, but the problem in Big Island parents, you guys think football coaches should babysit your kids and should make them good. No, you make them good. You go hire them another coach off season, train them all season long. Don't go dump your kids off on Coach Joe Blow because he's a football coach at this school and it's his job to get him in college. He's got him 2 hours a day. You got him 22 hours out of the day. You guys got to figure it out. And that's what I'm learning in the mainland. Like no one parent or no, and I don't know, maybe because maybe because they're Mormon people. I don't want to say that like in a like, but they believe in family. So they're not gonna leave it to chance, right? They're gonna take the matters in their hands and they're gonna go hire a footwork coach, right? Powerlifting coach. Da 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 da. And then like the kids come back to us in spring and then we gear them to by that time they're already recruiting their kids, their own kids, right? Mom and dads.
Yeah.
When you're on Team Pala, a lot of those parents were recruiting their own kids, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it wasn't the coach's job, it was the parents' job.
The Team Pala there was no such thing as coaching. It was just show up. You should be an athlete, be coachable, learn the plays, and do your thing out there and showcase. So I think that's how high school is too. You go out there. The only thing you should be learning is the plays. Other than that, technique, maybe a little bit new stuff, but you should be coachable on just learning what's next.
I don't have all the answers, but I do know coming from the Big Island, I can tell you exactly what I know that can get our kids out of there, right? More support. Love your kids more. Don't make excuses for them, right? Stop saying stuff like, "Oh, he should be the starting quarterback." And it's like, okay, well, why don't you coach? Why don't you come sign up? Hey, mom. Hey, dad. No, you cannot because you're working. And then you're ruining the kids. And guys like us, right? Like for instance, I don't want to coach anymore, right? I never wanted to coach. And I was on a Big Island. I was done already. I loved helping and coaching, but I don't want to coach because I'm tired of it. You know what I mean? You win, they talk. You lose, they talk. Hey, it's all good. You know what I mean? I'll just do what I'm good at. I'll find out how to get kids to college. I'll help them. That way, it's on you after that. I give you the opportunity. If, my favorite saying that Coach Carroll would say, he was like, "Hey, you can shit the bed. You're going to shit the bed if you don't get ready for it. If you're not ready when these lights turn on, you're going to shit the bed." Yeah. And parents, instead of them saying, "Yeah, son, my bad. I messed up. I shit the bed, this and that." No, well, it was Coach Serge's fault. He said it was going to help you get to college, right?
Yeah.
But you don't have grades, right? You didn't do your taxes. You don't do your FAFSAs. You don't do all the right things. You don't trust the process, and then you blame us coaches. And that's why I don't want to coach anymore. I'm good where I'm at. You know what I mean? And I think Collegiate Prep Hawaii is going to be the start of something great for you guys because you don't even have to coach it anymore. I took all the beatings in the past, me and Coach Hezzy, and now all you guys got to do is give opportunities to these children. Give them, you know what I mean? That's what God wants. God wants us to help these kids. And if you're from Hawaii, we always say Kiki o Kaina. It means the kids of the land, you know what I mean? And they're our children of the land. And they deserve these opportunities, I think after all these years, you coming up the ranks, you and your boys, and I always talk about my OGs. I'm gonna throw this on that. If I could have done this again, it would have been for you guys. And I tried. I remember trying this when you were a senior. I tried it again when Keenan guys were a senior and Noah and Landon. I couldn't get the support. And I still can't. The only reason why this game is even going, do you know why? You know who's supporting me?
Not Coach Rich guys and all them.
Who's supporting me right now? Who am I talking with?
Oh, us, the alumni guys.
The alumni guys. That's
us.
why this is happening,
Next
guys.
generation.
The next generation. This is not happening because anybody else. It's happening because they believed in this. That's not because like they're lucky to have me. It was because I was lucky to have them. they believed in something, and I wanted this to happen more than anything else. And I think that's why you guys are unique. That's why I think the OGs, you, and even Lyle Silva, because he brought us here. Then there's you, then there's Keenan Ua, then there's Noah Santiago, and then there's Landon Figueroa. You guys, you guys did something nobody else was willing to do at a younger age, and that's why collegiate prep Hawaii has to be successful. Guys, we're not asking kids for leave anymore at 14 or 15, right? You guys left at that age, came here and figured it out all on your own. We're trying to get kids to graduate high school, leave at 18 years old, and go, and we're right there to help them the same way we helped each other be successful at this level right now. We would have never made it this far if we never try. We know what it takes. We know what it takes to live there. Trust me, guys. Like, I love the Big Island of Hawaii. I love you people. I love, doing all the great things we did. I'll never go back and do it again. You know what I'm saying? Why would I do that when I figured out a way to get out of there, get our kids out of there, get them here? Because if I do that and go back over there, then who carries this part on? I don't know. Until we get that machine moving, we got to keep doing this. And we got to hopefully people at home can do it. Like you know what I mean? Help us with the game. Help us find kids. Help us get them out.
Yeah, I think like you just said, trust the process. I mean, you tried my senior year, you tried Keenan guy's senior year, didn't work. But and I could be wrong. I don't know when Wild guys are coaching, but for some reason this year when we're trying it again, you got Wild, Ethan, Kayla, they're all coaching at Kamehameha, and then a lot of us, like, we all just kind of come together and I don't know if it was just right timing or what, but everybody just locked in and wanted to just put this together. I know Wild talks about he's trying to do exactly what you guys are doing. He's been putting on a lot of camps and stuff for the kids. So to have him on board was pretty awesome as well.
Well, I think I'll tell you a little bit about coaching. If it happens that way, it's supposed to happen that way. You know what I mean? Like when you choke on a game, right? And we've been there where I mismanaged the clock, right? Winning the whole game, mismanage the clock, lose. Back then, you go, but we never made excuses. Never once was like they got lucky. We lost. End of story. We lost, and I couldn't figure it out. And today, now as a coach, I can tell you right now, it was supposed to happen that way, no matter what. That's how you learn.
Yeah.
Like you said, it was supposed to happen this way. Having Wild guys, it was supposed to happen this way. And here's the cool thing about everything that we've all experienced. I loved coaching. I started coaching at Paneva, and I used to bleed red and yellow. I don't care. You remember those days, huh? Paneva forever. Hey, we was all in. You know what I mean? No matter who we playing, and I remember parades. You know those days, parades, Christmas parades. We did them all. Homecomings at the youth level, we had them all. My goal is to make sure every year there was a championship banner hanging on the gym. But long story short, then Coach Maurice, coaching story again. Coach Maurice tells me one day, the community turns on me, all bashing me, because I'm either too hard on you guys. I'm screaming and yelling. I want the best. We're practicing from morning to nights, and Coach Maurice says, Coach, your loyalty is not to this community. You remember that I told you that. Who he said my loyalty was to?
Your sons.
My sons.
Your
That
kids.
was you.
Yeah.
That was this guy, and that changed my life. And so what happens is, cool story about coaching. The next year, I blessed Ricky and a bunch of his friends to coach Dave Murray at Kilkaha. It's probably one of the best seasons I've ever seen at the youth level. I mean, this guy threw for 27 touchdowns, 3,000 yards. I mean, that was the doing of Coach Dave Murray. I mean, I was jealous. Trust me. I was like, wow, I've never seen anything like it. But he took football to the next level because his playbook opened up huge, right? You guys had a great playbook. He wanted to see you guys playing at the college level then already, just like I did. And then the next year, you and I go to Kona.
Yeah. Steelers.
We go to Steelers. And we fell short that year. We lost the championship game. But again, it's either we're in the championship or we're losing in the championship. And we drove every day. And I think that's a coaching thing. Like, me and Ricky, we had a budget. We had to make like 30 or 40 bucks a day at his wagon. Remember, just we put gas.
Yeah.
We bought like this Mazda
It was
Protege.
$20 for halftime, get us there and back.
Yes, yes. And sometimes, how old you was like 13, right? Something like that. Yeah.
14, I think.
Yeah.
13,
Hey,
14.
I would be, Ricky, I'm tired. Right?
Yeah.
And Ricky would have to drive from Hilo all the way to Kona. And I was like, Ricky, don't you ever tell your mom that you're driving. And then the one time we let the mom come with us, he's like, oh, mom, you want me to drive? She's like, no, I don't want you to
I
drive.
drive all the time.
He's like, oh, I drive all the time. And I was
drive
sleeping
all
in the
the
back.
time.
She's like, what do you mean he's driving to Kona? But my point is, you see, my story goes on the road. And then 2019, while Ricky was in high school, he was playing for Coach Kyle Dramando at Hilo High. As a freshman, never played JV. He was a backup quarterback and a backup corner. And they won a state title. I stayed down at the youth level. I coached 2019. I coached Paneva's 14s.
Yeah.
Yeah, we won our region and we won WestCon. It's like the state again. Went to the Super Bowl. We lost to the national champions.
Yeah.
And I had the pleasure to still coach those guys. Keenan, Micah, Noah Santiago,
Landon,
yeah,
Zed.
Zed, and then I come up to we come up to Utah, right? I go to Granger. I was a special teams coordinator, a quarterbacks coach, strength and conditioning, whatever's. We built that program for 2 years. I went down to Farmington High School. I did whatever I had to do for Coach at the time. I just jumped in wherever he needed me, special teams with Coach Drew. A little bit here, a little bit there, and then last year, my first year coaching at the Ogden Jets, right, at like the JUCO level. This year, I had the honor and privilege to coach at the Islanders, and this year I wasn't even like a coach. I was more like I think at one point I was a DFO and then the acting GM. And just imagine, like, your dad, your coach, coming from Paneva, and I'm sitting at this level now, right? And then when things didn't go our way, you know what I would do, right? The kids are acting up. I bring my boxing gloves. We're coaching boxing today. Put them down. We're gonna see how tough you guys are today. And just like at home, everybody that flap their jaws, they're the ones don't put on the gloves because this is a man sport. And so now my point is, if from Paneva I can do it, from Paneva you can do it, anybody can do it, right? I had no vision of coaching at the college level. I have no vision of doing this. I just wanted to get our kids into a better place. And then now Collegiate Prep Hawaii is being built because of these opportunities. Now we have a place for them to go. So, like, it all comes down to coaching. It all becomes down to that. It was supposed to happen this way. And because you talk about guys like, wow, you're a coach too now. You know what I mean? And you see how it goes. I respect how you coach. I wish I could coach like you. You don't even scream and yell. This guy would score touchdowns, and I was just screaming and yelling. I'm pretty sure he's like, I just scored. What are you talking about?
Win or lose, same emotion.
That's right. That's right. Win or lose, same. Humbling. It's humbling. That's how we do it. I'm gonna be grateful for a lot of the things that we've all got to do together. I think what I love about coaching, and we can kind of start wrapping this up. What I love about coaching is that I get to be around you guys all the time. I brought up a little clip on YouTube, and I'm gonna show it up to you guys, and then we'll wrap this up, and we can
Just, touching up before you put up the video, touching up on you talked about Paneva and stuff. I think one thing I think a lot of the kids can take out of Paneva was you teaching us how to be just proud of who we are, proud Hawaiians, because nobody else we should do, or actually still probably nobody does the Hawaii Aloha. Nobody does that, you know what I mean? So I think installing that being proud of who you are was like the main thing you did to a lot of the kids before I was there and then after me.
Yeah, no, guys, check this out. I'm grateful you brought that up, son, or Ricky. Again, I know I'm a professional. I'm definitely not a coach. I'm gonna say I am a professional Hawaii Hale life coach. I've been living with boys for 5 years. When I say that, they come from the Big Island. We come from an island. How is it hard for them to know where they're from or who they are? Because they don't have identity, right? So, like, when you play for me, it's important for you to adopt my standards. Number one, I'm a man. Number two, I'm a husband, right? Number three, I'm a father. So my point is, it all comes down to one thing, right? I'm gonna put that on my coaching, right? I'm gonna show people how I love my family. I'm gonna love your kids like they're my own, and I want to teach them identity. And no matter what you are, but if say it is Hawaii Aloha, right? Hawaii Aloha is one of my kind of favorite songs because it speaks about the youth that's you guys. So when you talk about standing in front of people and singing, the worst thing I didn't like is when people was shame and you know what I mean. And you gotta have some kind of identity. Identity is on crisis now. So and this is just a joke, but this is something that happened in the last 4 years before Trump got him back in office. Hawaii was the main place where, oh, it's okay to be a boy or it's okay to be a girl. Identify. No, you cannot identify that way. Your identity is everything, right? What God made you is who you identify, who you are, your last name, your four founding fathers, all those things. But today it's not important. Um, to the community, it means nothing. To me, it means everything. And as long as I'm coaching, I'm gonna keep it that way. So I'm not for everybody. I'm not for everybody to be coached by. I mean, a lot of parents don't like the way I do things, and it's okay because that means what we do is okay if you're in our hui, the brotherhood, how we will create this next generation because that's what we have to do. But yeah, having an identity, boo, you gotta have that no matter what. Hawaii Aloha is just to understand what that song meant, right? It talked about the youth of Hawaii, the sands of Hawaii, and all that good stuff. So, as far as being on Hawaiian, I'm proud to be that guy on Kanaka. I'm a proud dad. I'm a proud coach. Man, I'm proud to be from Panaheva. I'm proud to come from nothing. You know what I mean? And I'm proud to be part of Hawaii Hale. And in the end, I'm just proud. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of your brothers. I'm proud of all my Hawaii Hale boys from the past, present, and future because they believed in me, right? And I always tell people this, and I'm gonna end on this before I share my video. I'm the lucky guy. They chose me. You guys chose me to be a coach. That goes back from the old school guys, the guys that are on our committee now. And I'm grateful to that. I still can be a part of your lives and watch you guys become great coaches because you guys will be better coaches than I ever could be. That was always my goal to make sure you guys were better than Coach Serge and chasing greatness. Then like we never did stop. So, thank you guys for choosing me and thank you guys for allowing me to be your guys' coach.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right, thank you. So this is something that I oh so this is a video that I made when these guys were just little, and I think I'm on that part.
Just if anybody can learn from something, as far as being a father and son thing, I think this is probably one of the best things I enjoy doing with my sons. I wish I could play football with them, but I'm too old and they're too young.
In other words, all I'm saying, it's on YouTube. You guys can watch it. It's a video that's like 14 years ago. So I've been saying these things right from when I was in my 20s. I'm in my mid 40s now, and I'm never gonna change my mindset. This guy was just a little boy hearing his dad preach to him when he never had a childhood. Just put it that way. And you know what? His little brother doesn't have a childhood. It's
Had a great childhood.
yeah, of course. Well, I mean, if you call it that, right? I looked at it this way: like a lot of kids, they had that recreational life where they would go on vacations to Disneyland, and no, we would go down the beach and go catch fish, and would make emus for everybody's parties, and we would raise pigs, and we would take care of our community. So this is not my first episode of what I'm trying to do. I'm not lost in life. I'm not in midlife crisis. All of a sudden, trying to save the world. I've been trying to save our people for years. It's just now I think it's supposed to happen this way. We finally putting everything together, and without your mom, supporting me all these years, I don't think we'd be where we at too. There's a lot of behind the scenes work that she had to take care of, like the office stuff, and it wasn't the best, but it worked, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who you think did all of that last collegiate prep bowl game? It was her.
Yeah.
You remember when the uniforms didn't come in? What happened? You don't remember that? She got on a plane like a day before, flew out there, met the guy at the airport, and like
Picked it up.
you remember that now, and then
Yeah,
flew right
yeah,
back.
yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like we don't have a crew of guys. We don't have a funder. We've done this all on our own. That's why I'm saying I'm grateful where I'm from. I'm proud of who I am. You know what I mean? I'm not laying here waiting for that horse to come in with the guy with the money. You know I have a brotherhood. I have you guys. I have a brotherhood. That's why I can do these things. I have a brotherhood. I'm gonna keep saying that, you know, and that's just how we gotta do things. So, you know, with that being said, you know, thank our sponsors again, Screen Protect, you know, Amway. Um, Again, these drinks are sugar free. Um, you know, I believe in doing more wellness things today. You know, the next time you guys will see me, I'll probably be on a fast again, shrinking down because there's just good things to do. You got big things coming up. You know, one of the things I am gonna take pride in more is our fighting. I want to get back as almost a full time fight coach. I want to just be a recruiter, maybe do more DFO stuff or GM stuff for the Islanders if I can. But I don't want to coach football anymore. I just want to connect the community. The last thing, guys, any head coach, any assistant coach, any football coach that wants to connect with these guys, let me know. I'm just bringing them to you guys. I don't want nothing to do with it. I want you to have these contacts. I want you guys to leverage your lives and your children to them, and I'll just help you guys get here. That's my plan, you know. As far as what you guys do, that's Coach Serge will just be right there to assist you guys, and we're gonna be great at it, you know. So, you know, if there's anything that you could tell these guys, something that you took from Hawaii Hale and all the great times that we've ever had, like you said, I had a great childhood. You know, how would you want to leave your message before we say goodbye?
I'll leave my message with just being kind of what we talked about, being proud. That was definitely installed in me when I was a young kid, but I took that over the years, whether it was back in the Big Island or when we came up to Utah. I know for sure when we shook a coach's hand or shook somebody we just met, they'd always tell us that we're great kids and we're real like honorable of where we're from, you know. So don't be shy. Don't be shy of who you are. Be proud. That's what I always say, Hawaiian forever. Um, but yeah, that's about it. I'm still Coach Serge's words. Make sure you tell somebody you love them. So Coach Serge, thank you and love you for hopping on.
All right. Oh, this guy literally closed out on my line. I was gonna do that too, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you guys something, and then this is my goodbye. Not just what Ricky said, yeah. Be proud of your kids. Like literally, tell them how proud you are of them. You know what I mean? Even though Ricky will hear it now, if I'm coaching him, I'm not proud at that moment. There's a lot of things we gotta accomplish, especially if it's a fight or a football game or a football training. Yeah, I'll definitely get on him, but make sure you tell them how proud you are of them. I'm proud of all of my sons, and he said it. You know, tell somebody you love them. You know, not just tell them you love them, show them you love them. You know what I mean? So in Hawaii, you know, we love each other a lot. So for Ricky, I'm gonna tell him I love him, and I'm gonna give him a big hug and a kiss. Love you, my man. Well, anyway, guys, hey, thanks for having me on your show, brother. I appreciate you. I appreciate the alumni boys. I appreciate Collegiate Prep Hawaii, Hawaii Hale, and if there's anything else, we can close this out and say goodbye.
No, thank you for hopping on. Co-founder, Coach Serge. Make sure you guys stay tuned with the Collegiate Prep Bowl. If you guys have any questions, make sure you DM us, find us on Instagram, and always remember,
Hawaii forever.